You're walking into something.
Right.
You're walking into a moment that is much bigger than you've ever been in. Could be a championship scenario. Could be a presentation in front of a large group of people. Could be stepping on stage to do a talk to somebody. Could be any of those scenarios that there are nerves and there are a lot of things that are obstacles to your success. Is honesty a habit that leads to excellence?
Jake?
Is honesty a habit that leads to excellence? Not necessarily. I don't think that being honest with everybody and everything necessarily gets you to success, right? I think it's very industry dependent. I think it's situationally dependent. But I think what our father really wants to talk about is why everybody says to be honest with you.
Well,
Why is it a qualifier?
Why must you tell me that you've been lying to me for the last 3 weeks?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm like, what? It's just so off-putting to me.
How did
And
you
I
get?
hear
How did
say-
you get to this?
Yeah.
When did this start being a real? I'm going to call it grind your gears type of thing.
So I'm a guy that likes to pay attention to words. I think words matter. I like people who have a good vocabulary that makes me interested and
Well, words
intrigued.
do matter, right?
So when you say to me, like, I'm taking for granted that you're bringing honesty and integrity to the party until you say, well, to be honest with you. And when I tell people this, I have a very specific example. Thank you, Sean Flood. I was coaching him. He was in a very high level conversation with a company that they was going to get funded by. And he used that term. And I said, dude, you went off the rails. You just planted that seed of doubt where if you change the word to, can I be transparent with you? Or can I be candid with you? Wow, people, now that's an emotion that they can embrace, but it's off-putting when you say
So
honest.
I think this hits on another topic, which is the fact that communication skills suck.
Yes.
People
Fair.
don't know how to
Yeah,
communicate.
that's pretty fair.
And so everybody wants to qualify what they're saying, right? Everybody wants the words used super, or everybody wants to build all their sentences with filler words. And so for some reason we feel the need to say, well, to be honest with you, because that somehow makes the words less harmful or easier to say, which is bullshit. You just need to know how to communicate clearly with somebody. And that is the point of being honest. So that leads you to being honest.
It's really hard being the son of a life coach, a business coach, an executive coach, because you find yourself in conversations with people my age, and they'll say, "Oh, to be honest with you," and I go, "Have you been fucking lying to me?" And they're like, "What are you, an asshole?" And I'm like, damn.
You asked the question though, and when you started, you went down a road. The genesis of this for me was when Mark was talking and he said something. You said something about people aren't even honest with themselves.
Right.
That's where it starts. I mean, people will tell us stuff that we know is not real.
Well,
you didn't do that.
Is it always good to be honest with yourself if you don't have the ability to deal with it right away? If that makes any sense to you guys.
I think it's crucial to be honest with yourself. I don't think there's any
Adam
substitute.
Grant posted, the healthy. There's a healthy time to process stress or nervousness, and that necessarily doing that in the moment doesn't serve you very well. That it actually derails you far more, and it's important to put that into a place that you then have time to deal with it. And I'm curious, is that the same as being honest with yourself?
I think they're actually two different things, right? I think accepting the reality of the moment is being honest with yourself. If for something or you're walking into something,
right?
You're walking into a moment that is much bigger than you've ever been in. Could be a championship scenario, could be a presentation in front of a large group of people, could be stepping on stage to do a talk to somebody, could be any of those scenarios that there are nerves and there are a lot of things that are obstacles to your success. I think that's what Adam Grant is talking about. Now, the moment before you step on stage, not the moment to be like, hey, I'm really nervous and I think I need to deal with these feelings. You need to compartmentalize that and focus on what you need to do to perform. That's still being honest with yourself. It's just not diving into those feelings. Being realistic with where you're at and what's happening does not mean that you have to allow that to derail what happens from there. But honesty with yourself and being real, I think, is a non-negotiable.